Good morning and welcome. I'm Celeste and this is my YouTube channel, Celeste Creates, where I share my quilting journey, my cross-stitch journey, all the things involving a needle and thread in some form or fashion. And sometimes I will post a tutorial. And so I am glad you're here. Today is FlossTube number 70. Wow, I can't believe I've made it to 70. That's pretty exciting. I think this summer is going to be 4 years on FlossTube. Pretty sure. I'll have to look into that and check. So hopefully I'm getting close to 10,000 subscribers, so that's really cool. And I just love making these videos and sharing my love of stitching and sewing and quilting with you. And so today I have lots to show you. I've been busy and I'm just really glad to be back. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. And this is, I think it's been 3 weeks since I posted a regular FlossTube update. So I did post, I would say it's probably about a week and a half ago, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before that. I did post what I called a photo finish parade. I think I called it that. Did I call it a photo finish? Yeah, photo finish parade. So if you look at my videos in order, it would be the one right before this. So it wasn't an official FlossTube, but what I did is I filmed a video that took you photo by photo, year by year, through all of my cross stitch finishes. From the time I had 2 early ones and then everything since I returned to cross stitch in late 2019. And so that was really fun to put together for you. I hope that if you haven't already watched it, that you can go back and watch that and enjoy it. Let me know what you think. I had fun making that. So like I said, today's FlossTube number 70, so this is going to be mostly cross stitch, but a couple other things included. And I also wanted to say, welcome. If you are new to my channel, I guess I could do a little bit of a reintroduction since this is number 70. I don't remember when the last time was that I talked about me. Well, I guess the whole thing is talking about me, right? But so my name is Celeste. I live on the Texas Gulf Coast, southeast of Houston, between Houston and Galveston. I have lived here my entire life, within about 4 or 5 miles from where I grew up. I am married and I have 5 kids. I have 4 boys and 1 girl, and they are ages 23 to almost 14. My youngest turns 14 next week, so that's exciting. One of my children has graduated college with his master's and is in law school. My daughter, who's number 2, just finished her junior year of college, and she'll graduate with her nursing degree next spring. I have my 3rd one, my son, has finished his first year at Texas A&M in the Corps of Cadets. My 4th one will be a senior this year in high school, and my youngest will be a freshman in high school. So time is flying. The kids are getting older. I homeschool. I have homeschooled them from the very beginning, and it's been a grand experience, an experiment and an experience, and I guess it's kind of worked. So they're out living their life and doing things, and I've enjoyed it. I am Catholic. I love my faith. I love Jesus. I love scripture. I do mention it here, and I love when I get comments from people that other Christians who share their love of Jesus with me. So that's awesome. Awful? No, awesome. I can already tell things are going to be a little harder today. So I love to laugh. I love having fun. I love I think that's the first thing I started that involved a needle was sewing. My mom taught me to sew at 9 or 10, and I did a little bit, and then I didn't do anymore. I did a couple cross-stitch pieces, you know, at that age, and into my teen years I just did 2. Didn't really enjoy that much, so I really didn't start sewing again until I got to my oldest was 9 months old, and my husband bought me a sewing machine for my birthday, and I started teaching myself how to quilt. So I have been quilting for 22 years, something like that, and I still love that and learning new things. Like I said, I got back into cross stitch in 2019, and there's been no looking back. I love wool appliqué. I'm learning to do hand appliqué. I like English paper piecing, so it's just all over the place. Like I said, anything with the needle and thread, I love it. I do crochet just a little bit, and I love to read. So sometimes I will mention what I'm reading. I haven't done that in a couple times because I've honestly just forgotten, but I'm always reading, and so I'll share some of that at the end of this video. So if you are new here, I'm so glad that you come to join me, and I hope that gives you a little information about me, and I hope that you'll consider subscribing as I make my way to 10,000 subscribers. And I hope that if you are returning, that you will continue to return. I just love reading all your comments and interacting with you. This community has been a blessing, and I've made so many wonderful friends. So and I have a golden doodle named Doug, and he was just sneaking out of my daughter's room, so I'm not sure what he was looking for in there, but he can be a little sneaky. So I think I'm gonna get started with cross stitch. Okay, so in 3 weeks I've been very busy. I haven't done a ton of different things, but I have gotten a lot accomplished, and so that's exciting. We had a like I said, we're 20 minutes from Galveston, cross the ferry to Bolivar, maybe an hour away. Once you cross the ferry, 45 minutes. And so last week we had a beach house vacation for several days, and really enjoyed that. I worked on a sampler when I was in the beach house, and I worked on some English paper piecing on the beach, which was really fun. So I have all that to show you today. Yeah, there's a lot on this table. So where I wanted to begin is talk about FlossTube. So like I said, I think I've been doing this since July of 2020. I jumped on the bandwagon, kind of amidst all the COVID stuff, and I've just really enjoyed it and made lots of new friends. And so I watch FlossTube. I don't watch it every day, I don't watch it every week, but I'll go through spurts, and of course there's always, I think we all have our favorites, right? And that, of course, there's FlossTube superstars, right? And we can fangirl over those. But some of my very favorites that I will pretty much watch when I see a new one has come out, like I'll watch it as soon as I'm able. So I kind of wanted to share some of those with you. So let me see, and I'll put these all in the description box below, and I'm sure you've all heard of these, but I just kind of want to mention my favorites. Of course, Brenda and Laura. If you don't know about Brenda and Laura, then you've been living under a rock, right? No, everybody knows Brenda and Laura. Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, never miss her. Olivia, Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. She's a sweet friend, and really enjoy her floss tubes, and I love her dog Freddie. I love Fred. Let's see, Contented Needleworker Kim. She's a sweet friend of mine. I love everything she does. Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle. She's in New Zealand, I believe, and gorgeous samplers. I would like to be Narissa's best friend. So Tattered, Katie is So Tattered, a fellow Texan, and just a sweetheart. I love her. Linen and Scraps, the Paisley Stitcher, Mischievous Stitches, and somehow I thought there hadn't been a video from Lori at Mischievous Stitches in a long time, and somehow it wasn't showing up in my feed, so now I've got some Lori's to go back and watch. Sully Stitches, she's a little bit newer, lots of fun. Enjoy her finished parades as well that she does each time, kind of like a designer spotlight, I think she calls it. A lot of fun. And then Lisa Kindred Stitcher, another one of my favorites. She gave me a really sweet mention last time. Hi Lisa, thank you for your kind words. And if you've been around with me any length of time, you'll know that it's not uncommon for me to need to sneeze during a floss tube. I think I'm okay now. But I was earlier this morning, I was with my daughter at a doctor's appointment, and it wasn't the first time we'd been there, but we hadn't been there since last year, and we were meeting a new doctor, and something in that office was driving us nuts. We were sneezing and our noses were running, so I'm not sure what it was, but so anyway, thanks Lisa. Hi, love you too, love all your stuff. So those are my favorites, and there are many others that I'll watch here and there, but you know, I don't think I don't have time to watch everything, and I think we all have ones that maybe appeal to us more if we have a particular style of stitching, and that's okay. You know, I'm not upset if somebody watches my channel and decides, oh, she's not for me for whatever reason. That's okay, move on. There's plenty to watch, and we only got so much time, and I love to read so much. I like to listen to audiobooks, so sometimes I want to do that and not watch FlossTube, so it just depends. But now, really fun is I was kind of finished watching the ones that I wanted to watch that were current the other day, but I was in the mood to watch some more FlossTube, and so I went back. And I was thinking about it as I was watching. I'm like, okay, you know how we'll talk sometimes about, Brenda and Laura will say it a lot, this is just comfort stitching, okay? Maybe it's a blackbird and this is comfort stitching. And so I decided what I was watching was comfort FlossTube, because what I decided was that if I had ever watched the first Brenda and Laura FlossTube or the first Carol FlossTube, I don't remember. I don't think I did. I think I picked up and maybe watched a couple old ones, but just kind of picked up and watched forward. So I went back and I've watched the first one of each of them last week, Brenda and Laura's first video and Carol Saltbox Stitchers. Yeah, so I went back and I watched Brenda and Laura's first one and Carol's first one, and yeah, definitely call that comfort FlossTube. It was really fun, even just to see, you know, like what linens they were talking about back then versus now. And anyway, so I've just termed that as comfort FlossTube. So find your comfort FlossTube and enjoy. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I've noticed several different FlossTubers were kind of mentioning it lately, was because I think there had been something out there about these new little floss tags that are out there, and maybe is it a picture of the DMC? I don't know, you may know what I'm talking about, but there's just been some different FlossTubers. I'm Italian, Sicilian actually, so I think the hands, anyway, been a lot of talk about floss organization and how you store your floss and what you like to do. So I thought I would share a little bit about that. I know it's probably not like earth-shattering, but it is. I enjoy seeing what other people do, and so I will share what I do, because you never know who that might inspire or whatever. So I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to take you that direction to my little closet over here that where I store my floss. All right. Okay, so this is totally funny because we are standing in my closet. If you can see up there is where I film. That's my chair right there. Anyway, I'm in this little closet. I'll kind of show you what's in here when I have a minute. But this is my floss storage. So I bought this little shelf on Amazon, and I can link to it below if they still have it. But it's got like 2 rows of little hooks. Can you see that? It's got 2 rows of hooks. It's got this, it's like a jewelry holder. It's got these little hooks, 2 levels. And the thing up here, I've never put anything up there. So this little shelf holds all my DMC. And I used to have them hanging on, hold on, I just recently switched this. I used to have them hanging on these S hooks on here. So each little grouping would have been on one of these S hooks. And I was getting kind of tired of it, and I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, because it was a little hard to page through them, kind of flip through them and pick the color I want. So not that long ago, I switched them all to just binder rings of, you know, that we used to put our floss on for when we're stitching. And so I have them on these floss rings, and I have each number grouping. So this is 0s to the ends of the 100s, 200s, 3s, 4s, 5, 6, I think the ends are 7 over here. Then 8s, 800s, 900s, 3000s, 3300s, 3700s, and then like this is my 3800s. So that's how I store my DMC. And it's really easy to flip through my ring. If I'm looking for a particular color, then you pull it off your ring, close the ring, keep flipping if you're looking for something. I also still have, once upon a time before I came back to cross stitch, all of my DMC was in bobbins. I used to have 2 boxes, but as you can see, so much of it is up here or in projects. And so this is all that's left of what's on bobbins. And so if I'm looking for a color, it might be in here, but it's rare anymore that I find a color in here that I need for a project. But I always check. So that kind of just sits on my shelf over here. Up here, this big ring, you can see that's all my classic color works. And it is sorted alphabetically on this one big binder ring. Hangs in the wall. Short people. Okay, and then right here, this one is Gentle Arts, and this one is Weeks. So I am going to pull a ring off, and I'm going to talk about that out there. So let me turn the camera around, and I can just, because everybody wants to know what's in the closet, right? These boxes are toys, and there's a few toys and games at the bottom, and more games and toys down here on the bottom. This used to be mostly games and toys and homeschool stuff. Miscellaneous craft stuff here. My other sewing machine, more miscellaneous craft stuff, hot glue guns, rice, odds and ends. This, I usually have a bucket of trim that sits right there. These are all my cross stitch patterns. And these are all quilting books and binders full of quilt patterns. And then up on the top I have miscellaneous finishing, like some trays or a box or baskets or little things, and then the rest is just kind of homeschool and such. Oh, there's my wool. Is that my wool? That's my bucket of wool back there. Yeah. Okay, so back out here. So here, this is the one that I pulled off the wall. This is all my Gentle Arts. I am not particular about a lot of things, but I like a certain amount of order and neatness. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, it matters to me that, and I'll show you this later, that all my floss for a project is on the same floss tags. I don't know why. I just like it all to be the same. So whether it's in a project or hanging on that shelf or on my rings, I kind of like them all the same if they're being used. So I really am not one to use different types of floss tags or different types of, it's just like little floss bling, the rings, you know, the little floss bling that you put on the rings for your projects. I like all that. But as far as tags, I use one kind of tag, and I buy these on Amazon. They're just, they come a bunch in a package. They are these gift tag type, you know, craft paper or craft, I don't know, words are hard today. And my method is I take a regular hole punch, and where they have the small punch at the top, I make a bigger one so that it'll fit on my ring. And then I believe this might be a half. This is a craft punch that you get on Amazon or at you know, Hobby Lobby. And then I punch the ring below for the floss to go on. And that's what I do for all my floss that's being used or has been used. So I keep myself a little bucket for when I want to put floss. I got it. For my DMC, I use this as a floss winder. This was a wooden school ruler that every homeschool mom probably has 20 of. I don't know why, we rarely use them. So I had, this is a regular 12-inch ruler, and I had my son take it out in the garage, and he sawed it off to 9 inches and sanded the end for me. And so this is my floss winder for winding DMC to put on floss rings. So all my DMC ends up on floss rings like this, and I write DMC and the number. And so this has been, these are 18, you know, so each strand is 18 inches because of how I wind it. So I use that for winding DMC. And if I am doing an overdyed, I take it off its original tag when I use it, and then it also goes on one of these floss tags, and I usually write gassed. It must have been a really old one. I write gassed, and I write the color, or I write CC for Classic Colorworks in the color, or WDW for Weeks Dye Works. And so if you're looking, this is all of my Gentle Arts that's not in a project right now. When I'm done with a project, it goes back on this ring. So I know you will see in here that there are some that are still on their original floss tags. That's because I have never used it. So I was gifted a bunch of overdyed at some point, and so all of that, just all the things I'd already bought, plus all the ones that I was given, are mixed in here. So if it's on a floss tag, I have not used this particular, and some there were multiple skeins of a particular color. So you know, I may just have used one, but I haven't gotten to the other one yet. So that is how I store my overdyed floss. Each has a big ring, and then the DMC on the numbered rings. And that's my floss storage system. So if it's not on a project, then it is on one of these rings in the closet. Now, my other thing I wanted to say is, how do I've tried different things. I did use like a Cross Stitch Plus app or something, and it was $10 a year, and I liked it, but it wasn't quite what I wanted. And so I started thinking, maybe earlier this year, because I didn't want to pay for the app again. It's like, well, the only thing I ever need to know is what floss is hanging out in other project bags. So if I've got, for instance, you know, this project bag has a project in it, without going through every bag, because sometimes I want to borrow from a project to kit another project or to use it just temporarily. And so what I found out was like, I just need to know what's in each bag. And so I just made a spreadsheet, and that has a tab for each of my projects. And it's super simple. It has the title and it lists all the flosses. If they're DMCs, they're in number order, you know, alphabetical for the others. So each whip that's in a bag is in that spreadsheet. It has a tab, and all the floss that's in that bag is listed. So if I'm looking for something, I can go to my spreadsheet, and you can do the find. Is it Control F? Anyway, the find at the top, it's like find or find and replace. I can do that and put in the name of the floss or the number of the DMC and search the entire workbook. You don't even have to search it one at a time. You can search the entire workbook, and it'll find that floss in one of those sheets in the spreadsheet. It's not hard. It sounds complicated. It's not. And so that's a really good way for me to know what I have in those bags. And if I'm looking for something in particular, then I can just search it real quick and find it. And I can put it on my phone too. It's not as searchable because I use Excel spreadsheets on the computer. So it does transfer to Google Sheets fine. It's just not as searchable on my phone as it is on the actual program, on the actual Excel program. But it's still super easy for me to look through the tabs, and in my head I kind of know. I'm like, oh, okay, I know I'm using all the overdyed for His Eyes on the Sparrow. I know this one's using all DMC, and so if I'm looking for overdyed, I can skip through those tabs that in my head I know what I'm using. So that's how I know what's in my bags, because sometimes I am looking for a floss to borrow temporarily. So I've just dumped a whole lot of information on you. I will link all those floss tubes I told you about that I watch. I will link my tags. I've given this link out to a bunch of people, my tags. And I'll figure out what size punch this is. It has always been enough. It's always been a perfect size for any of my floss. I'll link that below. And if anybody is interested, I'm not going to link it to you, but if anybody is interested in my spreadsheet, just email me. My email is in the drop-down box down below, and I'm happy to send you my spreadsheet and you can fiddle with it. It's just nothing special, but if it helps you to see mine and just kind of redo mine, I'm fine with that. It's not proprietary, so I think I can share that if that helps you. So okay, so I know I wanted to talk about that. I actually wrote notes this time for a change. I hardly ever do that. Okay, so I talked about that. If you have any other questions about how the floss or why I do what I do, let me know. But I am just kind of, I do like it all the same. So silly me, but I do. Okay, so now on to the real stitching. Okay, let me put this over here, my notes. So I have worked on, like I said, only a few things, but I've accomplished a lot. So I have several finishes and FFOs to show you that I'm super excited about. Yesterday I had a finishing day, and I got a lot done, and I was really, really tired by the end of the day. But it was a great day. It was a great day, just on my feet a lot. So, you know, those of us who spend a lot of time sitting and stitching, being on your feet a lot is quite different. So, first thing, and I have this in a little bag because I'm going to share this with my friend, but I bought, came out at Market. I only bought two things from Market. This is one of them. Botanical Bee from Hands On Design. I just fell in love with that. So different and just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love her designs. I really do. I'm going to share this in a piece of the fabric with my friend. So I stitched this on Lugana, and it's azure. It's 32 count azure, Lugana, A-Z-U-R-E. I'll link it below. I found it on 123 Stitch. Took a chance on the color, and I love it. It calls for a new linen, I think that's called Juniper by Fabrics by Stephanie, 32 count Juniper linen. But I just thought, well, I'm usually not a 32 counter. I usually like 36. And I thought, well, I'm gonna try this Lugana. I think it looked, I don't know. I just thought I could still do 32 count Lugana and stitch with one strand of floss and be pleased with the outcome. So that's what I did. So 32 count Azure Lugana, and I finished it and FF'd it. So here it is. Isn't that color beautiful? I actually love how it turned out. The stitching was really fun. I just, I love every bit of it. I love all the detail, the stitches, the back stitches and the long stitches in the flowers and the stems and things. Just adds so much to it. So I turned that into this disc. I used a black and white gingham on the back that I had on my shelf. And then I used this trim that I found at Hobby Lobby and did a wrap. I kind of actually, once I glued these together, I actually stitched all the way around too, just to kind of pull the sandwich together. I used my upholstery thread and stitched all the way around, just loose in a whip stitch, to kind of just pull that sandwich a little closer together so that when I put the trim, I don't have as big a gap there that I'm trying to cover. So that really helps, and it just kind of makes the disky area look good. Anyway, so did that and kind of wrapped it and glued it so that it became a hanger, and used some pins and made a little bow to kind of hide where I did my fold over. That's just some, that's just hem tape that I tied. So that's what I made with Botanical Bee. Can I get a screenshot here? I don't know if it'll do it. So what I like doing is making, this is dusty, I have this hanger, this little hanger thing. This little thing comes out of it, and it's got like a little post to hang things on. And I've made quite a few things that are meant to hang on here for different holidays and stuff. And I just love this. This is one of my favorite purchases. So this is sitting down in my bee collection, and this just hangs there. And I love this thing. So it's really fun to make something to hang on here. Now, here's what it looks like. That's that real pretty finial. And that's what the bottom looks like. It says RTC. What this is this is the Round Top collection. So there's a little town in Texas called Round Top, and it's famous for its Round Top Antiques fair. And then this guy just started this little company called the Round Top Collection, making home decor items. And so they're easy to get here in Texas. I know you can shop online and probably find this. I bought it at a shop here nearby that was carrying their products. But it's called the Round Top Collection, and I'll link that below as well. So there's my Botanical Bee hanging on my post. So that is a finish and an FFO, because I started that after I made my last floss tube. I stitched on it and finished it, and fully finished it. What's next? Okay, that goes over here. So then, other thing I did is, this is an old, oops, see, there's my back. I don't even cover it because who's looking at the back? This is an older finish, so I finished this months ago. This is the piece that I did for my anniversary, our wedding anniversary. Our 25th anniversary was in 2023. I'd started this in 2022 on our anniversary and had hoped to finish it a year later exactly. That didn't happen, but I did finish it in my 25th anniversary year. So let me put this down. I'll hold it back up in a second. This chart comes from the book from Teresa Kogut, Let Love Reign. And I actually had bought it for the gorgeous main sampler, which if you haven't seen Sully Stitches, she's got hers done and it's beautiful. Someday I may still do just that basket. But I was pleased when I had originally bought something else that I was going to do for my 25th anniversary sampler, and then when I got this book I saw this and I was like, oh no, that's the one I'm doing. The quote from Mother Teresa. So this is in the book. I'll hold it up again. So yesterday I got it framed. It's been finished and now I got it framed. So it says, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. A quote from Mother Teresa. That's our wedding year. And then down here I put in just backstitch the year that I finished it. So this frame was a different size, so I went outside and I chopped it and put it back together again like Humpty Dumpty and framed it myself, laced it and popped it into the frame. This is how I do all my framing. So on Instagram, somebody had asked yesterday if I would do another, I've done like a 1 minute like fast forwarded kind of watching me lace, but I will. I have plenty that need framing in my drawer that I'm kind of slowly working through, and so I will do a tutorial, a real tutorial on my lacing and framing. I know Kim was kind of I've always laced and framed my own things. I have not had anything professionally framed, but when I first started framing, I would be taking my piece with me to, say, the antique store or Goodwill and looking for a frame that fit it. But then when I saw that Kim, Contented Needleworker Kim, was doing her own chopping of her frames and putting them back together, I was like, I bet I can do that. So I taught myself how to do that, and it's so easy and it's so cheap. This was a thrifted frame, not more than $5. I just love being able to do that myself. So yep, so that's been framed. Love it. This was a hard one. This is a hard one for me because I got really bored with the colors and the grass, but I'm glad it's done, and it's in our bedroom. So got that done. And then last time I saw you, I had just picked up a whip, maybe that day that I filmed that FlossTube. It is called A Tender Father, 1847 by 1897 schoolhouse samplers. A Tender Father. And I had started this sometime in 2023, I think. And I just had decided, you know, 3 weeks ago, yeah, that I was going to pull it out. And once I pulled it out and got working on it, I was like, I'm finishing this. This is getting finished. So I did. I finished it and I framed it yesterday. So I finished it probably a week and a half ago. Yeah, I finished it the Saturday before Mother's Day, I think, because I was starting a new sampler on Mother's Day, which I'll show you in a minute. And then yesterday I got it framed. So here is my FFO'd A Tender Father. This is another thrifted frame, and this just happened. I have a box of frames. I think Kim talks about the same thing. She has a box or a bin of frames out in the garage. I do too. Ones that I find and just grab for a good price. And sometimes they're in a perfect fit. So I did not have to cut this one. And yeah, there's more space on the sides than there is on the top and bottom, but who cares? It's a gorgeous frame. Look at that. That is so beautiful. And I just felt like that was perfect. So I got that laced and framed yesterday, and it is hanging on my wall downstairs. Oh, look, my lighting's better on this side. So that is A Tender Father. And this I stitched, hold on. Fan keeps turning my page. The Love Your Family was stitched on 36 36 count Kateri, Kateri, named after a saint, from Tropical Stitches. This beautiful piece was done on Presentation, 36 count Presentation by Tropical Stitches. I link her website every single time in my drop down box because these are hands down my favorite linens, the most beautiful linens. I just love them. So go give my friend Laura a visit and try a piece of her linen. This is Presentation. So I'm so thrilled to have this one done. So excited. So those are my finishes and FFOs. Pretty excited. All right. So then, aside from finishing A Tender Father, stitching Botanical Bee, the only other thing I worked on, right? Yeah. Was the sampler that I started on Mother's Day. So my friend Kara, Pink Daisy Stitch, I think I always say that wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Pink Daisy Stitch. I'll link it below. One day I'll get it right. Sorry, Kara. Anyway, Kara and I have somehow been deciding to start and stitch all the big things. I think this is her Start All the Big Girls, I think is her hashtag. And so she and I have done several starts together here recently, and it's been really fun. I think, who else is it? Is it the Distracted Stitcher? I'll put her down below too, or you can find it on my Instagram. But on Mother's Day, we started this chart, which I believe was released last year. Yeah, it was 2023 from Cross Stitch Antiques. Oh, Sweet Humility, the Eliza Townsend's work, 1835. I love this chart. Isn't that beautiful? Sweet Humility. So Kara and I are stitching that together. We started on Mother's Day. Really enjoying that, and I'm still working on it. I have not ready to put it away yet, and I am using it calls for either DMC 103 silks or NPIs, and I'm using the DMCs. So here's all my DMC. Very simple, but very pretty colors. Really pretty how they're coming together. And many people have asked me about this in the past on each of my projects. I make what are called floss or needle tags, and I have a tutorial here on my channel for needle tags, and it's just some fabric and a little piece of felt on a string or on a ribbon, and my needle for each project is attached to the floss. So there's a needle tag and floss. I don't have a needle book in every bag because I just can't handle that. To each his own. But these are my favorite. I love making these little needle tags, and I hang them on the ring, and my needle is always I always have a needle with my project. Okay, all that to say, this is on 36 count. It is a one-of-a-kind creation without a name from Tropical Stitches. So Laura dyed it and said, do you want it? And I said yes, and it was perfect. So here's my work for, let me get my, isn't that beautiful linen? So that's how much of the border I've done. That bones of the border is all done, so now I can come along and fill in these flowers that are there. There's a flower. This is hard to see. Okay, I'll show you real close. This is kind of where I've been working. So there's these flowers on the outside and those flowers on the inside. Did the little house, odd little tree. So anyway, I love this, and I'm really enjoying working on it, and that's beautiful linen. Love it. So that is a start on my whip that I am currently still working on. All right, is that it? Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is kind of haul slash plans. I do have actually one thing that is coming soon. I ordered. So I was watching, I think it was her most recent one, Sully Stitches, and I think she was doing a Bent Creek and a Heart and Hand designer spotlight of her past finishes, and I haven't done much of either of those. I'm really a big time sampler girl, and so most of what I work on is samplers. But I saw this one Bent Creek that she showed, and it's called The Candy Corn of Mischief. So go watch Sully Stitches. She shows one called The Candy Corn of Mischief by Bent Creek. And there's a few of them out there. I found this one at Stony Creek, and I needed some linen, and I found it there as well. So I went ahead and ordered. It's a kit. It's on like 20 count fabric, but it comes with the pearl cotton to where you use one strand of the pearl cotton. I think it is the cutest candy corn. Anyway, I ordered that little kit, and it's on its way along with the piece of linen that I needed. So watch Sully and look for the Candy Corn of Mischief. It's super cute. I'm not a huge Halloween decorator. I'll do one display, but this is so cute. Okay. All right, next, plans and haul. Okay, so first up, plans. On sometime this weekend, probably not on Memorial Day because I have plans on that day, but I am going to start, oh, I really should have gotten that book out. Pause. You think you've gotten everything, and then you realize you forgot something. Okay, so out of this Blackbird book, Sweet Land of Liberty, I have stitched this one, Silly to Abigail. This one is called American Eagle. So like, and if you look at the entrance here, I've stitched the Salute to Abigail. This one, I've not stitched this, have not stitched that. And then this one right here is called In Full Glory. And so I'm gonna start that one for Memorial Day weekend. I love that one to add to my patriotic decor, which I will put out hopefully this weekend. We'll see. And so I just found a little piece of linen. I don't know why that's on here. That's not correct. Anyway. A little piece of linen in my stash. I have no idea what it is. It's kind of a neat looking little gray. Okay, this light is messing with me. It's a neat looking gray. That's better actually. I don't care how I like it. It's really pretty. And then here's the called for flosses on that gray. It did not have a label on it, so I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna start that one in Full Glory over the weekend, because I kind of like to have a small going and then working on a sampler. That's kind of how I roll. Okay, so that goes back downstairs. Okay, so things I've gotten / upcoming. Okay, so there is a chart out there called Eliza Hills, the 1856 Eliza Hills sampler. I first saw it in a newsletter from the attic, and I'm pretty sure that's the only place you can get this sampler is at the attic. They have it. It is from Handwork. Is it just called Handwork? I guess so. Okay, so I saw that picture, and I just kind of had I kind of screenshotted the newsletter, and it's been sitting in my photos, and I kind of dream and think about it, how I'd like to have that sampler. And so about a week and a half ago, it was like over the weekend, and I forget who I told. I was just like, I'm just gonna call the attic on Monday and order the chart. I'm just gonna order Eliza Hills and be done with it because I want it. So Monday went by and I didn't call, and yeah, you know, kind of that back and forth in your head. I don't need it. Well, yeah, but I want it. And so then that Tuesday morning, I woke up thinking about that chart, about Eliza Hills. And so I was just laying in there in bed, and I was like, okay, just call today. Just call and order it. It's beautiful. It's done on this dark linen. It's beautiful. Call and order it. So I opened my phone. I was just getting, you know, reading my texts first thing in the morning, and opened my email, and in my email, it was an eBay. Hey, this sampler just popped up. It was the Eliza Hills sampler. I was like, that is meant to be. It was $10 cheaper on eBay. I found it. I have never hit buy it now faster in my life than I did for this particular sampler, because I really only have two things on eBay that I was looking for, and it was this sampler, and then there's a blackbird chart I'm looking for. So I mean, it was just so funny because I woke up thinking about it. I was like, okay, just order it today before we go on vacation. It'll be here when you get back. And there was that eBay, like, it's here. I found one for you. So it has since arrived. Let me show you real quick the picture from the newsletter, from the attic newsletter, and you can kind of see why I had to have it. Isn't that beautiful on that dark linen? I just love that. So here is my chart. And the original chart has it on a light colored linen. Totally different. Doesn't that just look totally different? I almost had to check and make sure I was buying the right sampler. This was done on 28 count champagne linen. I don't even know who made that. It was before my time. Anyway, the verse says, how merciful is God, what a kind parent he, thus to bestow so many gifts on such a child as me. Oh, I love it. So, I got it. And I'm super excited. What a blessing. And so then, I'm just gonna toss these down here. I've gotten the DMC to stitch it. It's all been tagged. I was watching a show with my daughter the other night, and I was putting DMC on, aren't those pretty, on tags. We were watching some more of the Gilmore Girls. So my dilemma was, I think in the picture from the attic that was done on a fox and rabbit linen that they don't make anymore, it was called Camo Fudge. Some people have done theirs, since they can't get the Camo Fudge, they've done it on Seaweed by Fox and Rabbit. It just looked really green to me, so I was looking more for a dark brown. So hold on, let me get something. Last year I finished this sampler, which is a blackbird sampler. I just need to make myself a good sized whiteboard. Okay, so look here, you can see the color of this linen, right? This is just Zweigart granite, 36 count Zweigart granite. What a pretty color. And look how beautiful those colors show up on there, right? So I was like, I think I'm gonna do that. So what I did was I did a little test strip, and I actually even coffee dyed a little piece of, here, let me hold it up here. Coffee dyed a little strip of this granite, and it even, I'm not sure if I can be able to change the color just a little bit. Can you see that? Almost darkened it and greened it up just a little bit. So I'm really happy with how that looks. So I ordered, with my candy corn of mischief, I ordered another piece of this granite from Stony Creek, and then I will dye the piece with coffee, and that is what I'm going to stitch Eliza Hills on. And there's my daughter, she's home. No. All right, next thing I ordered is, this is the only other sampler. So this is the only other piece of market release that I have ordered. This is my other favorite, the 12 Days of Christmas stockings from Annie B's Folk Art. Fell in love with these. They are so tiny and cute. I love the colors. So I ordered this booklet from Christine at Celeste Creates, and I also ordered the linen from her that I decided on, and she was super helpful. This calls for 14 count black Aida, so that's equivalent to a 28 count linen. I don't really want to do it on black Aida, and I really don't want to do it on 28 count. So I just took a stab at something else. And I ordered this piece of linen, which has got thread all over it. Nobody's ever gonna come back and watch me find this a mess. Okay, still got threads. It's called Magical Gray. Magical Gray. I think it's just a Zweigart. Magical Gray. It is the prettiest charcoal color. I love it. And I like that it's not gonna be black for these. And the colors are still gonna be fabulous, if I can find them. These are they. Yeah. Those are all the colors, the DMCs. And that can be fun. I love that. So I'm gonna start those maybe June, if not July for sure. And I don't know how many I'll get done this year. They're not gonna be the ornaments for my kids. These are just gonna be for going on the tree. So Magical Gray, 36 count. Love it. So I've kitted that up. Next, I've been on a kitting roll. I've had this chart for a little while. I bought it from Brenda Gervais. Her website, Country Stitches Online. I love this chart. It is called Heart of the Home Sampler. Pull it out because it's just too pretty to be in the plastic. Heart of the Home Sampler. And here it is. Isn't that pretty? I just love that. It reminds me of the one that Sully Stitches is working on, which I also have. It's like Sampler Hill or House on Sampler Hill. I forget. I have it too, but I want to do this one first. I love this. Love it. Okay, so I have that. I've had that, but I kitted it up. And I know when I'm going to start it. But here's the beautiful flosses. Aren't they pretty? They're all over dies. Called for. Aren't they pretty? Okay, and then I found this piece of linen, and I have no idea what it is. I'm sure it's probably Tropical Stitches. Oh, colors are not my friend today. Here we go. And I'm gonna put that on there. So there's another one, kitted up, ready to go. That I will be starting sometime soon. So what have I shown you? Eliza Hills, soon. This one soon. And the stockings either, maybe I'll wait till July on this. We'll see. Maybe after I finish my little patriotic, I can start the stockings as my smalls, because my stitching chair over here upstairs, I usually have a small going up here, and it's good for me to work on up here. Okay. Now these are kitted that I don't have plans for yet. But Kara, Pink Daisy Stitch, and I have been considering starting these at some point in the future. One of them is the Scarlet House Jane Cowie. My friend April _heirlooms has finished this. I think she did hers with the silks, and it's gorgeous. I've had this since it came out, whenever that was. I love it. And so I don't have a linen picked for this yet. I probably have a piece of linen for this, but I did gather all my DMCs and put those on tags that I already had, so that at a moment's notice, Kara, I can start Jane Cowie. And because that's not enough, I have one more. This is also one that Kara and I want to start at any moment. And you have to go see. This one is, I think Narissa's finished this one, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous. So this is the Rose Wreath Sampler from GGR. I mean, it's just thick. Goodness gracious. See, you can do the over dyes, but I went ahead and did DMC because it's a lot of floss. And so this is another one that Kara and I have plans to start. No specific plans yet. Of course, I don't have linen for this. I do have all the floss. I mean, look at all that DMC. That's a lot. Aren't they pretty? Okay, so again, I don't have a piece of linen for this. This one, Kara, I'm gonna have to wait on a little bit because it's gonna require a bigger piece of linen, and I just don't have money for it right now. So, another. Ready to start? Isn't this exciting? So fun. Okay, so that's all my crazy kitting and planning. Yes, I've lost my ever-loving mind, but hey, I'm not sure I ever had it anyway. So, all right, a couple other things I want to share with you. One is what I worked on while we were at the beach house. This was my project I worked on the beach. It is a English paper piecing project that I bought at the quilt show in this past fall here in Houston. I've done English paper piecing. I do enjoy it very much, and I fell in love with this and thought I was crazy. It is from, her name is Jill Shawless, and her company is Yellow Creek Quilt Designs, and I actually forget the name of this at the moment. I'll put a picture in here of what the finished project looked like at the quilt show that I saw that I had to have, and I will link it below because I just can't think of the name right now, and I don't really want to pause one more time. So let me put a picture here of what the finished project looks like. I mean, I fell in love. Who wouldn't fall in love? Okay, so it's tiny. Well, the project isn't tiny, but the hexagons are tiny. Look at those. See, they're little tiny ones. I think these are 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch hexagons. And my little paper pieces here, I bought those with the kit. The kit came, or the kit just came with the fabric and the pattern. And then I bought these there too, the little 1/2 inch hexies. And here's a bunch of little purple ones. So Jill has a little bit about English paper piecing. So all I had when I went to the beach was this piece done, and so I've added all those. And I need to iron it. So these little purple ones are going to continue to go around here because this is at the edge of the frame. The frame sits right there. So I have done like the 1 inch hexies. I'm doing a quilt that has those. When I first started doing English paper piecing, I basted I thread basted my hexagons on the back. And then for some reason I stopped doing that. Everybody was using glue, so I started using glue. I just don't think I'm a fan of the glue basting. Here's why. Not that I won't do it, but why I'm not a fan. What I remembered, because these are thread basted, this is a particular way that Jill does it. Because these hexagons are so tiny, it is harder to baste it just purely on the back of the hexagon, because you just don't have a lot of room. And so her basting, that's what these hot pink stitches are, her basting is through the paper piece, and you can still reuse it, it's not a problem. So her basting goes through the paper piece, and I will link her video down below because it's real easy to do. But as I stepped away from the gluing to do these with thread basting, I remembered why I like thread basting, because to me, the glue basting to prep your hexagons, glue basting isn't very portable. So I felt like I was having to prep all my hexagons out or at home and then only do the whip stitching together, like on the road or in the car or in the waiting room. So it didn't feel, the glue basting is not portable in my opinion. Thread basting was. So I think I'm going back to thread basting all together, because I can either be whip stitching or I can be making hexies and prepping them. So I think I'm going back to thread basting even on this other quilt that I've been working on. And I use the glue for other things, but I'm not against it. I just realized why the thread basting was nice, and it was because it was so portable. Okay, so these you baste through the paper piece, and then Jill also shows you how to whip stitch them from the back. And so I actually, for these, it is a nice, I mean, I like the way it looks. I don't think it matters. Well, I don't know. I have to watch the video again and see if there was a reason why she whip stitches from the back for these. And I got better as I went along. Some of these, this is really, it was a different thread too. But I'm really liking how it looks on the front. So I have had so much fun with this. So yeah, that'll be next. I bought this super cool bag on Amazon for $7. And I think it was like for pens and pencils, like artist journaling or whatever. But look how it opens. So it folded up and zippered closed, but look how it opens and sits in my lap really well. So in here I have trash and I have scissors. Under these that were supposed to hold pens, I have, that's my basting thread, and then this is a special thread. I'm not going to pull it out of here. It's Wonderfill Soft Poly. It's Invisifill, and it's a polyester thread, and it's been wonderful for the piecing. I'm enjoying that. I have a little thimble tucked in here, and then a needle minder. So that sits open on my lap, and then it zips closed. And then in here, in a pocket, I have my extra hexies. I don't have anything there right now. And then I have my bag of hexies. And then right here, I have a needle book. This is a needlepoint needle book that my mom made a long time ago. Remember this as a child. So that has my needles for the EPP and the basting. And so I need to finish this little bit, and then I'll take it out of here and put it in my tray. But that all zips up, and look how cute that is. Great, love it. So I'll link that below too. I'm just a wealth of information today. Okay, what else do I have to talk about? Oh, yes, appliqué. Okay. So I talked about this last time. This book, Olivia Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and Olivia B, both here on FlossTube, are doing this quilt called The Raven by Blackbird Designs. We're all doing it together. And I'm sure there's others of you out there joining us. Let me know if you're making this too. I showed you last time that I had finished, this block had already been finished, and I was working on another block, and I did finish the applique on that block. So that block is completely done. And I'd like to start another one, but I'm working on a different, I pulled out a different applique to work on. So this is my second block for the Blackbird, the Raven quilt. Love it. So much fun. I'm so enjoying the hand applique. So that's that. I'll pull out another block at some point. But on a whim, I decided I needed to pull out a different quilt to work on. And this, okay, so I have a quilt going from the vintage spool called Cherry Crush. Pardon me. Okay, so that is this quilt. And I've shown you blocks that I've done from here. I've done this one, I've done this one, I've done that one. I think that's it. Or did I do that one? I don't remember. I maybe only done 3. So this is from the vintage spool. Her name is Verna Mascara. Beautiful, beautiful applique quilts. She was also a fabric designer. So that's called Cherry Crush that I've been working on. Well, I bought this one on sale when she had a sale on her website. This is another of hers. This is called Land That I Love. It is both pieced and applique, whereas the other ones, it's all applique until you piece your blocks together. But this has both pieced blocks and applique blocks. Isn't that pretty? I think, unless I get to the end and I'm going to need some more fabric, but for the most part, I have so much red, white, and blue in my stash of fabric. I think I'm going to be able to do this with stuff that I have. So I pulled that out and I thought, you know, I am just going to start working on it. So I started with a couple piece blocks. I pieced the boat and oh, this little pinwheel up here. So I pieced those. So here they are. This is just from my stash. There's the pinwheel. And here's the boat. Fun, fun, fun. And I have glue basted down all my pieces for my first applique block from this one. And of course it's, whereas like the Blackbird, so those Blackbird blocks are big and most of the pieces are nice, comfortable size. But not all are like that. Not all applique blocks and quilts out there are like that. So of course I'm gonna start with this one here with lots of tiny pieces. It went really well though. So this is the Lady Liberty here. And she is all from my stash and she is all basted and ready for me to sew, hand stitch, hand applique. And it went so well. All of this was done using the applique method. All these little pieces went so well. I feel like I'm getting, you can look in my last video about the applique tools and the threads that I'm using. You can also go to Olivia B. She has a shop, Hillside Rookery, where she sells the applique tools and she has some good videos about it. But doing the Raven blocks big first helped me get the hang of it, and I really feel like I'm getting more and more proficient at it. And this was not hard to do, these little pieces. I mean, those are small. So I'm ready to start stitching that on, and I'm super happy with how that looks. So fun. So that, I think that's it for the things that involve a needle and thread and fabric. Okay, at the end I'm going to talk about giveaways, but before I talk about that, I am going to do a little bit of what have I been reading. Okay, so I told you I love to read. So one book that I am currently reading right now, I'm about halfway through. I don't know if y'all know about these. A friend gave me these. These are called book darts. And that is my favorite little thing in the whole wide world for marking my place in a book. Because not only do you mark your page, but you mark exactly where you left off. So right now, this is the newest book by this author, Joanna Davidson Politano. I read all her books. They are all fabulous, and I'm enjoying this one. This one I'm having a little bit harder time getting into, I think, but I'm enjoying it. It's really good. I'm a little slow at my reading right now for some reason. This is called The Elusive Truth of Lily Temple. She's a Christian author. It's not like overly Christian, though. I don't know if that's a thing, but anyway, it's beautiful. Her books are so good. Love them, love them, love them. So I'm reading that. Really good. I don't have the others to show you in person because they are not a hard copy. But another book I am reading is called The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Ward Radcliffe. So she is called like the mother of Gothic fiction. And so she lived about, if I'm not mistaken, about the same time as Jane Austen, that kind of same era. I think Jane Austen may even refer to her at some point. It was either there that she refers to her or that the Jane Austen mysteries I read refer to her. I forget. Anyway, this is called The Mysteries of Udolpho. I'll put a picture like right here. I am both reading this / listening to it, depending on how I feel. It is a long book. I'm going to finish it. I will probably give it like a 4.5 stars on pretty much everything I give is either 4 or 5 stars. I just don't tend to finish books that I don't like, so I have very few 3s or 2s. And so on Goodreads, it'll probably get a 4.5. It'll probably be 4, but I wish I could give it a 4.5. It's good. It is good. She's very descriptive. I just feel like it's taking a long time to get through the book, but anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna finish it. So that's one that I'm reading. I also just downloaded a different book to listen to when I get tired of The Mysteries of Udolpho, and it is by a Christian author named Holly Varney. It's called On Moonberry Lake. I got this off my library website, and I'm listening to the audiobook. And then I just downloaded another book that came in at the library. And this author I really enjoy too. I think she is Christian, but she's got a little bit of, it's kind of a, they're not spooky, but they're kind of gothic and a little bit, they're mystery, but they're a little spooky, but they're Christian. Anyway, her name is Jamie Jo Wright, and I read several of her books, and this is her most recent one, and I'm reading it as well. I'm going to read it. I just started like the first page. And then of course I'm reading some religious books, and never enough time, right? All right, so that's what I'm reading. And now to talk about the giveaway. There are the 2 giveaways from either last time or the time before. They're right there. And I got both your emails, ladies, and I will be getting them out in the mail, but we've been gone, and anyway, they're going out in the mail soon, I promise. But after last time, this was multiple videos ago, I had given away this bag that I had made, a little Notions bag filled with some goodies, and I picked a winner and didn't hear from that person. I gave that person a chance on my last FlossTube video to contact me, and I have not heard from her. And so I am drawing a winner today from the past video. So this is from your past comments, and so you don't have to do anything. I'm just going to draw it. So you're getting a chance to win this, and the winner for this, the new winner for this bag with its contents is So congratulations. Please email me. My email is down below, and let me know what you won and your address, and I can get this in the mail to you. So I'm excited for it to go out to somebody. And then the giveaway for today. So I've made you another bag. So this is a full project bag, and that's one side and that's the other. This is done with Lori Holt Fabrics. This is called the Apron Strings block. It's a 12-inch block from her first Farm Girl Vintage book. And then I added a strip at the top. So there are 2 different apron strings blocks. And then I just lined it with some Swiss dot. And this also is filled with some goodies. And so this is my giveaway for this time. So you must be a subscriber to enter. And I want you to comment and like. And in your comment, I want you to use the word apron, because this is the apron strings block. And so let me hear about, do you wear an apron when you cook? Did your mother wear an apron? I want to hear it. So your word is apron to be entered in this drawing, and I will be giving that away. So that is all I have to share today. I hope that you will be back to visit me next time. I've had a lot of fun sharing with you. Have a great couple weeks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.